you to look at the paper that I passed out. So, we are going to be learning and doing some art.
Yes.
Raise your hand if you love to draw.
Me. I love to draw.
Okay. So, you're in luck because we're going to be doing some drawing. We're going to be doing some art. And it's going to be based on a famous painter.
Vincent Van Gogh. Oh.
Yes.
Who's the famous painter again? It says meet the masters and masters.
Oh yeah, we've done this before in second grade.
Yeah, what's the
Oh, friends, I know we're excited. Listen carefully. Okay, I know we're excited right now.
Oh, they still art? They still art.
Oh, if we're going to be talking right now, then that means that we're not going to be able to do this.
Okay.
So, it's up to you guys. So, eventually, let me try to get this. There we go. So, eventually, we are going to be creating a piece of art that looks just like this. So, you are going to be creating something like Vincent Van Gogh. So, Vincent Van Gogh was a Dutch painter and artist. So, he was a Dutch painter and artist who lived in 1853. So, that's a long time ago, because guess what? It's 2021 right now.
Oh, so it was like
2021,
3
right?
centuries ago?
Yes. So, he was born in 1853. That's a long time ago. So, he created a lot of famous artwork that we are going to be learning about. So, guess how many paintings? Oh, I still hear voices. I know we're so excited. But let me finish talking, okay? So, he created over 2,000 paintings in his life, which is pretty crazy. So, he was an artist from a long time ago. Those of us who are just coming in right now. Jared. Hey, those of us who are just coming in right now, you need to close your computers. That's okay, thank you. If you're just coming in, you need to close your computer and look at the paper I just gave you. Jared, why is your voice on right now? Okay, I'm going to wait till we're quiet. I know many of us are very excited to do this, but we can't do it until we're quiet because I have to give directions. So, like I said before, for the people who are just coming in, we're going to be learning about Vincent Van Gogh and be creating a piece of artwork that looks like this. Okay? So, he was a famous Dutch painter who lived a long time ago in 1853. So, we're going to be learning about him, and we're going to be learning about some of the techniques when he was an artist, some of the things that he did, and some of the ways that he painted and some of the ways that he drew. Okay? So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be talking about textures. Textures. Does anybody know what texture means?
Oh,
What's texture? You could even look on the paper I just gave you, and it gives you a hint about what texture is. Alvaro?
is it like the shape that they made?
It's not the shape. It's a good guess, though. York? Not what it looks like. Look at your paper if you're unsure. Bella? How it feels. So, we're going to be drawing what the texture looks like close up. Okay?
Miss Maestas.
Oh, wait, 1 second. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing on our first page right now. So, when we draw texture on an object, we're showing how it would feel to touch that object. So, for our first one, we're going to be drawing small, and I'm going to be doing it along with us so you can see what it looks like. But see how we have a piece of wood? I'm going to show us what a piece of wood looks like close up. Everyone look at the board.
Wow.
So this is what a piece of wood looks like if we zoom in, right? We're going to be drawing that on our piece of wood that we have. We have a blank piece of wood. Next to it, we have the texture. We're going to draw that texture on our piece of wood. So, we're going to do that for each of them. We have a brick wall. We have a blanket. Let's do the blanket. So this is what a blanket looks like if we zoom in, right? Have we ever seen a blanket like that?
No.
So we're going to be drawing what it looks like. They gave us an example, and we're going to be drawing that small on our blanket. Our next one, a brick wall. A brick wall. We're going to be drawing the bricks on our brick wall, the texture on our brick wall. We're doing this because we're practicing for when we create this art project. We're practicing because Vincent van Gogh used a lot of texture in his art. So that's what we're going to be practicing. So let's first start. I'm going to go to our camera. Like the wood that we just saw, and this is really important. It needs to be very small. It needs to be very small on our wood. So see how I have the wood piece here and I have the texture here? I'm going to take this texture and I'm going to draw it very small on my piece of wood. So let's start by doing that. Before you get started, watch how I do it. I'm going to make it very small. So I'm going to draw some of the lines. Small. Okay. So right now we're going to be drawing small lines for our piece of wood. See how I'm drawing it small? I'm taking what I see over here with my texture and I'm drawing it on my piece of wood. It doesn't need to be perfect. Remember, we're drawing it in small. So while you're drawing this, I'm going to talk to us a little bit about texture. So texture shows us how something would feel if we touched it. There is texture when we can feel, and in art, there is texture we can see called visual texture. So that's what we see. When we're looking there, we can see visual texture. So texture adds interest and movement to a work of art. So when we saw that picture of that Vincent van Gogh, his work of art, that is called the Starry Night, and that's what we're going to be. We're going to be creating something just like that. So how did he create the stars in the sky? How did he create all the pieces that he did, the texture of it? What he did was his use of texture made it look very calm. So he made his sky look very calm through the use of texture. So we're going to be using oil pastels later on to be creating our own version of Starry Night, which is Vincent van Gogh, probably his most famous work. Jared? Your stomach hurts? Okay, it's almost the end of the day, so. Hang in there. Okay. Okay, so I want us right now to be drawing in our texture. So we're drawing in, if we look, there's a lot of lines that come together, right? For wood. So this is our visual texture. You need to fill in the whole thing. There should be a lot of lines, and there's some circles or ovals, it almost looks like, pointy ovals. Carolina, am I still glitching? Or can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Geraldine, can you hear me?
She said you could hear me.
That was Joyce. I know. I'm asking Geraldine. Can you hear me now, Geraldine? Can you hear me now? Also, friends on Zoom, you should have this paper. This was sent home.
Do we do the corners and bottom?
Okay, so see how I filled it in?
Yep.
So we first did our piece of wood. Now, let's go down and let's do our brick wall. Our brick wall. So let me show you again what a brick wall looks like. Okay. Joyce, am I frozen on your screen? Joyce? Joyce? Am I frozen on your screen?
I saw a little
Can you see me? Yes or no? Am I frozen or no? No. Okay, Geraldine. I'm not frozen on other people's screens, so it might be your connection, honey. Okay, so let's look right now. So this is what a brick wall looks like, right? So we're going to be drawing this texture on our blank wall. So see how on our page we have our wall here. We're going to be drawing this on this wall here. But remember, we're doing it small because this is as if it's zoomed in. This is as if they took a camera and zoomed it right in or took a magnifying glass. So we need to draw this smaller on here, okay? So go ahead and start drawing different shaped boxes. So Geraldine, just do your best right now, babe, because you may need to check your internet connection because the other kids on Zoom can see you. drawing it in small, you need to do that on the whole brick wall. Yours? Yes. So you need to be doing this on your wall. So we're doing it on the whole brick wall. And see how I'm fitting them together? So if I see a space, I'm going to draw another brick that fits in that space. And I'm doing some small, some big. We're practicing visual texture. So if I see any extra spaces, I'm going to put in some bricks there. Okay, Amalette and Jacob, please just be doing your drawing right now. You need to fill in the whole wall. It doesn't have to be perfect. So even if we're making mistakes, that's okay because this is practice. We're practicing right now. We still want to try our best, but it's okay if we make mistakes because this is practice. Okay, Geraldine, just find the texture page if you can't see me on the screen. Find the texture page that we're working on that says Meet the Masters and try to get started on them. You don't need to see me doing it to do it on your page. Okay, my next one. Let's go down to my butterfly. This is important. For my butterfly, let me show you a picture of the texture of a butterfly. Where is it? There we go. Okay, let's be nice. So this is the texture that a butterfly can have. So, I know, very cool, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing the swirls that, it's not exactly the same because these ones are more circles, but on our paper, we're going to be doing swirls, but we're going to be doing small swirls. So watch, before you start, watch how small I'm doing. This is a spiral, small spiral. See how I'm doing small? Here, I'll zoom in a little bit. And cover her wings with small spirals. Just like that butterfly we just saw, we're going to be doing small spirals.
You guys see how by doing that texture, it makes the picture look more alive?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
We're adding visual texture. interesting. And like Miss Olson said, more alive.
Also realistic.
Yes, realistic. So we're gonna fill in as many swirls or spirals as we can on our butterfly. And we're gonna talk more about what spirals are later. Some of them might have to be extra small to fit it in. Okay. Now, at the top we have a blanket. A blanket. So, like we saw before, this is what a blanket, not that one.
A blanket.
This is what a blanket looks like zoomed in. So we're going to be doing this texture on our blanket.
I think it's scarf.
That looks like a tissue.
Remember, we're doing it small though. Yes, you want to be taking the same design that they have next to it, the visual texture that they showed us there, and be adding that to your picture, your blank part. That's what you should be doing. Remember, we're doing it small to add more visual texture. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just doing our best.
Right now, mine looks like it's like a watermelon.
We're just doing our best. We're filling in texture. We're practicing for when we do our Van Gogh picture. Okay. Now for our next one, we're going to be doing a tree.
What?
So this is a tree zoomed in, right?
What? Looks so
It's
long.
the grass.
So we're going to be taking this texture and very small, adding it to our tree.
Not even done with the blanket yet.
That's okay. I'm just showing you how to do the tree. See how I'm doing it very small?
Yeah.
Right now we're doing the tree. And remember, this is practice. So if it's not perfect, that's okay. We're just practicing adding texture to different pictures. To different shapes. Hey. Ooh, that one hurt my fingers. Okay, our last one is a balloon. I'm going to show you what a balloon looks like zoomed in. Isn't that weird?
No.
It is.
A baba balloon. That's not a balloon. That's not a balloon.
Yes, it is. Isn't that weird? So that's if we zoomed in really, 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 really close. So we're going to be doing that with our balloon here. We're going to make very small our lines for texture. Doesn't need to be perfect. We're just showing what visual texture is. So go ahead. Very nice. Good job. So, remember this is Vincent van Gogh. He was a Dutch artist, okay? And we're going to be, the thing that we learned about today is texture. So we learned how to draw visual texture on shapes. So remember, really?
Yeah.
So texture shows us how something would feel if we touched it. There's texture we can feel in art. There's texture we see called visual texture. So that's what we practiced today, because Vincent van Gogh used a lot of visual texture in his art. And we are going to be using visual texture in our art coming up on our big special project.
But
Okay?
did it actually talk